Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview for a most anticipated game of the season.
So far.
We are joined by Paul Machin of Redmen TV. Crossing the divide. We pulled them in for an opposition preview. Ped, I mean, whatever. You've got nothing to say. Ped is fuming.
Me and Ped aren't allowed to occupy exactly the same space at the same time. Have anyone seen Time Cop?
That's it. It's just fume. Paul, I guess your derby build-up feelings are very different to ours, given your record, Liverpool's record recently over Everton.
You know what it is? Obviously we go into it more confident and happy, generally speaking. The thing is, our season domestically is so poised on a knife edge because City are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That any drop of points for us, even if draws, feel like defeats and all that. Like, so, given that you don't have a great record against us, there's part of me just going, not now, lads. Not now.
This isn't the one.
Have it next season. Just do not have you pricks can't be the ones.
Are you? Is that what? So you're basically saying if we get a draw on Sunday, we can claim that as a victory?
I mean,
because that's literally what we need.
By all means. I'm sure Phil Jagiel's going to be happy to do that again, wouldn't he? Like, you know what I mean? But
we'd all be happy.
Yeah. But no, I mean,
991 times out of 1,000.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He'd do it.
Oh, yeah. Our prick was right behind that as well.
Look for that lad again after the end. But no, it's about time we won there. I've got no.
This must be a nightmare for you to preview, because I've seen a couple of lads go, "Oh, I fancy us to get a draw." I've seen Dave Downey going on about how he's got a plan there. He sees Everton are going to be above us by Christmas or something like. And fair play,
Dave Downey.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, apparently so. Fair play.
I've got a plan to be a millionaire this time next year. I've just got to find that watch in that shed.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, you've got every reason to be upbeat and optimistic on it. If it wasn't us, if it was United or any other team in the top six or whatever, you should be going into it with the play. Because
we are in the top six.
Well, no, exactly. But any other team in the top six, because you can't
don't sky us off. Don't sky us off.
Yeah, to be fair, Man United, so.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I think how I would look at this game, and I've done a tactics preview thing with Chris, and he asked me about it. How were you feeling? Without any mad, wild predictions and stuff like that, what I will say is I feel confident that Everton will go and have a go, and that's a massive turnaround in itself in terms of. And I look at this Everton side now and think, you know what, this team is actually capable of winning at Anfield. I'm not saying it'll happen, and Sunday night could look very different if Liverpool turn it on. Yeah. And like I said to Chris, and I think Ped will probably agree, if both teams play at their optimum level, Liverpool will win, because Liverpool at this moment are a better side than Everton. And any Blues who are throwing things at the telly because I've said that, that's the reality. We are building. Liverpool are further along than us.
Go back 12 months, for God's sake, and reassess.
Exactly. So what would, do you disagree with that?
No, you're absolutely right. We are where we are, and it's nice where we are at the moment. The football's pretty good. Just ground out a victory over Cardiff, which wasn't brilliant to watch, but you looked at it and everyone in the ground was like, we'll win this second half. Not with a cockiness or overconfidence, just we'll win this. We've got enough belief in our team, and that's I think that's what the thing is at the moment. I honestly think this is the best Everton team for 9 years, I'd say.
Okay.
So as long as we go there on
what happened 9 years ago?
Well, we had like the Kales and the Artetas and people like that, and it was probably
we finished fifth, but
it was like the last good Moyes team before we started selling them off one by one.
I must admit I've not paid a great deal of attention to you in the early part of the season, but then I don't know what game it was I watched a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at the team and I was like, I think it was when Andre Gomez was just starting to come in.
You just can't take your eyes off him.
Well, he's a fucking man, isn't he? But I looked at it and I was like, oh shit! Like, you've constructed a bloody good side there, and I think it looks like there's finally been some joined up thinking in the transfer market. And again, you look at those lads, and they've all either got great experience or great great potential. Like, so yeah, I mean, this is not like you've had. I mean, look, you've had some. I mean, we've had some terrible players too down the years. Like, but I think I agree in terms of just from the outside looking at it, we're not knowing loads about it without following you. Just on paper, looking at your team looks one of the better teams I've seen.
Well, that's what's good about us at the moment, from our point of view, that it's not just on paper. Like, those players are good. They genuinely are good players, and they're playing well together, and they all seem happy, and it. But I'm not going to go overboard about it. It just seems like we're going to win everything at some point. No, without going overboard out of it, it doesn't feel like when in the last few years we've had a couple of good players, and then because we've only got a couple of good players, you're scared of losing those good players. It actually feels like, because there's 6 or 7 of them who are actually good players and are at the right age, that this team could stick together and start pushing. And I know it's a really sort of almost shy thing to say, but like create a proper, and I've said this before joking, like a proper 7 teams in the Premier League that are interchangeable.
Yeah.
And maybe not 7, maybe the top 3 are always going to be the top 3 for the next couple of years, but those below, Arsenal and Man United, and start getting amongst them so that we're not like saying, well, we've got to finish above Bournemouth first.
Well, you don't want a world where Bramley Moore opens and you are what you were last season. Or the season before, or you don't want to be West Ham. You know, you want to be.
No one ever wants to be.
No,
West Ham.
Nobody wants to be West Ham. Nobody wants to be West Ham. You don't want a situation where the stadium doesn't fit the mould of the club. What you want to be is continue developing along these lines with top quality players. Look, let's be honest. We'd have had Yerry Mina all day. Kurt Zouma, you know, gone from Chelsea. There would have been a number. I'm guessing there would have been other takers. Theo Walcott's class. I'd have had Theo Walcott in the past. You've got really good names as well. In terms of the brand recognition. You're playing a good brand of football. And I said to you, I think I said to you at the start of the season, what you want to see is you're not going to have it all your own way under a new manager straight off. But given all the stuff with Allardyce and what have you. When you lose games, at least on the next week, you want to see something that gives you the glimmer of hope. And I feel like you're putting the glimmers of hope together.
I remember you saying last season, or when we've been talking in the past, and you were like, when Klopp come in and that first season, even though it wasn't great, but you could see what the markers were and little tests you were overcoming, and that's what we're kind of doing. Now, I'm not, again, like Ped, I'm not going to get cut. There's been 13 games. In another 13 games, it might look totally different, but I look at this team now and I think, you know what, there's a team that half a dozen players can't get in our 18 who were our first team last season.
Yeah.
So that in itself tells you where the club has gone. And we've got a coach who's attention to detail, and we've got a director of football who's done the job. So things are moving.
There's no expectation either. There really isn't. I've said this, and obviously this will be different for Sunday. But Man United, Arsenal, when we played Arsenal, when you look at the team, you had Tom Davies captain the team, you had Dominic Calvert-Lewin playing up front. It was a mismatch of nowhere near the team we're playing now, and we got beat. And of course, people were disappointed.
John Joe was like that.
John Joe, yeah. People were disappointed, but sensible people said, we just give a decent Arsenal team a game there for an hour, and some people went, but we should be given. But you could see the shoots, and then we went to Man United, and all for a dodgy penalty decision, as far as I'm concerned. We should have come away from there. Then we go to Chelsea away, and we had a couple of chances. We ground out a draw, but at no time did you ever feel like, oh, we were dead lucky. Like that, like in stoppage time where you'd normally be shitting yourself at these grounds at 0-0, we were sitting there going, we've done all right today, and we take that
thinking we could win it.
Yeah,
we broke twice,
and then we take that to Anfield, and then we take that to the Etihad in a couple of weeks. And I don't think anybody's sitting here going, well, if we get to beat today, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. For us sitting here now, we're sitting here going, those players will learn something from today, whether they win, lose or draw, and hopefully they'll take it, because that's the way the season's been so far. Every time something's happened, there has been a reaction to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing you need. And you're right. We've seen that along the way, is that you never fancy us to lose 2 games on the bounce. So we're obviously recording this before we play PSG. So you know what I mean. Take from that what you will. Like, but the thing we've got at the moment is this is the least enjoyable. See, Liverpool are going into this unbeaten, 2 points behind the league leaders, and I have not enjoyed basically a single second.
Why though?
Because
Pressure.
Because the pressure, and because you've got to be prepared. City have just basically raised the bar. They're just this super team. We're living in a world, and it won't happen because it happens. You have this talk every season where it's like, they'll say at some point someone will say City can win the quadruple, and then they'll get knocked out the FA Cup by Burnley or something. But at the minute, we could go undefeated all season and not win the league, and that's just horrendous because we've constructed a side that I think is more than capable of winning the league, and it's statistically we should be top. We should be comfortably top. And how many other seasons we'd be top, but we're not, which just means that I think there's a little, we've proven ourselves and we'll continue to prove ourselves. But there's a little glimmer of doubt in the fans' minds, and that might be one thing that plays to your advantage of the weekend. Is if you just can stick it up Liverpool early, then there might be something where. I mean, the players, hopefully to a much lesser extent than the fans. I think they're more mentally strong. That's why they're elite sportsmen, and we're not. But it might just be that thing of thinking, oh my God, what does that look like if we were to drop points? I think that fear is just this cloud that's hanging over us.
I suppose though, from your point of view, Klopp will be saying, let's flip that round on City, and as long as we put pressure on them, that pressure might start telling on them. And then you have to have a dodgy week like last year.
But that's what we've been doing so far, and I'm fine, because there's a couple of times where we've leapfrogged them because we played the early game, and I think that's the way. You see Guardiola's reaction, he just won't shut up about Klopp and Liverpool, like every other interview seems to mention us, but it goes the other way. Is that all it takes is a bad week and the gap starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden you're not in a challenge anymore, and you're sucked into the battle to make sure you finish in the top 4 again. So yeah, it's horrendous. I haven't enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed a single second of it.
There you go. Just do what we're doing. Just play week by week.
No, but I'm used to. But this is where it is. It's just a stupid mentality, because I am joking. I'd rather us win horrendously every single week than win every other week with flair and style. But that's the thing we've kind of been used to, and it's weird that we've had this like swashbuckling style, blah blah blah, and sometimes you win 7-0 and then you go and get beat 3-1 the week after.
If that's the case, how come it's also utterly miserable on Road to Glory then?
Well, naturally more upbeat.
Let me just ask you about your style, because you just kind of mentioned it there, and talking to Chris and other Reds, they've said you're playing differently this season than kind of what's gone before with Klopp. In what way?
We're playing far more, I think, within ourselves this season. People just call it conservatively, whatever. Is that we're not starting games fast, but my suspicion is that's a deliberate act for two things. To stop fatigue, not just in the match, but I think over the course of the season. And we were kind of saying is I think we're picking our moments, because I think the shift has changed. We've been able to be more of a counter-attacking side in years gone by, because there's more teams who maybe come to us naively. Whereas, look, you don't go, whether we won it or not, we got to the European Cup final. There's very few managers, believe it or not. You've still got your Ramos shit around here, haven't you? But to be stupid, be foolish to turn up to Liverpool and go gung-ho if you didn't think you were capable of doing it. So more and more teams are giving us the ball, and we're being tasked with being an elite team. So we're having to make that transition from being a team that can just play our footy and counter-attack or whatever, to be a team that has to dominate possession, has to take its time. So we're being loads more patient on the ball, looking for opportunities. So it's nowhere near as like thrilling, but the Watford game is a good example of that. We were shit for 38 minutes of the game. We had one shot on target, and then we sparked into life, and then we could have been a couple of goals up by half time. Started the second half a bit slow, waiting for opportunities, and then even though we scored after we went down to 10 men again, because we had the ability to pick those holes. So we can hurt you, but we're not going to hurt you by windmilling out of the blocks. What we'll probably do is, and that might be different, depends how you approach it. Marco Silva, I'm kind of hoping that he thinks, we've got this team here, and I know how to do a job against Liverpool. I'm going to go out there and try and do something. That I'd be much more encouraged if you tried to do that. If you try and sit back,
he won't.
I
just don't think he will. He'll sit back. We did that at home. We sit back for the first half, and then basically see how the game pans out. Make sure the opposition don't score, and then come on second half. And that's at home. So away we play counter-attacking football, but he's not really set us up really. Couple of games we started really fast, like Leicester we started fast, didn't we? And obviously we won the game.
Started quite fast at Chelsea, though. If you remember the other.
But I don't think we've actually set out to go, we're just going to push you back and push you back. And I think it'll be I think he'll take the approach like he took against Chelsea, where it'll be, we'll move forward bit by bit by bit. You know, in not as a whole team. We've got a bit more pace at the back now. Mean is there now as well.
Quick, yeah.
He's quick. He's big. He only played a couple of games, so I'm not getting over the top about him. But I
so the general theme is, you think he's really good in potential, but you're not getting carried away.
No, I don't think.
I've heard you say that about it.
I think
he's good.
I think we are. I think we've got the potential to be a good side. I think listen, the from the outside looking in, you're probably looking at us going, "Oh, these are a dead good attacking team." I think our attack's the weakest part of our game. Okay. We don't score enough goals. We were.
Yeah, it was sixth.
Baz sent me something yesterday, and basically, you know, it was a big thing about Ghana, and I think, you know, goals wise, we're just not score. We don't score enough goals.
But that's
clinical.
Well, that's the thing. But that's the difference, isn't it? The truly top teams have a guy who scores almost at this point a goal every week, or 2 and 3. That 1 and 2 things is a bit old school. 2 and 3 is the genuine elite of the elite, and if you haven't got that, then that's the difference between being in a battle for between 4th and 6th. Yeah.
Well,
I think than being.
I think that's the difference between Sales and Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal have got 2 goal scorers that they can hang their hat on. Man United don't seem to have anybody, and so that's where
which is bizarre.
They seem to have fallen a little bit further behind.
Get Lukaku back, lads.
No.
But you know, it's easy to say at the time, and I know not all Evertonians, of course, would go, wow, well, you know, you can rationalise it a bit. We did it when Suarez left, and Torres left, and you can't underestimate how important it is just having a lad who bangs the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis, and that's why there's so few of them as well, and that's why they cost so much money and did a real difference, because you can get everywhere. And I look at you, and Richarlison looks like the kind of player who could hurt us. But will he score 20 plus goals this season? If he doesn't, there's nothing wrong with him, by the way. But he does feel to me like, I think Marco Silva's trying to get a tune out of what he's got, as opposed to having the perfectly constructed.
Well, I think what he's trying to do.
He's a placeholder.
Yeah, because literally Tosin will score goals, but he needs chances to score goals. Yeah. He's never going to turn and sprint past you and cause that. So what he's tried to do, Bernard's such a clever footballer that he's just tried to reconstruct the side, but what he's showing you, Richarlison, is what Silva wants. So he wants a mobile, quick centre forward. But Richarlison got 6 goals, he might get 15 quite easily, because he gets chances.
Oh, I'm not being disrespectful by the way when I say all that.
Because there's not many who do get 20 odd goals. That's why Ron went for 100 million, because he does get, or he did do playing for us, got 20 odd goals. He's at United, he thought he was, you know, he seemed to bet another player while he's there, because he's literally 3 times he's large undies now at United.
He's gone a bit Mark Henry, hasn't he?
It's just he's gone a bit Achim Fenway, however you say his name, Achim Fenway. That's what he's gone like, you know. And I think maybe if he was back here with Silva, Everton would be. I think we'd be looking and going, tell you what, we've got a lad who puts the ball in the net 20 plus times a season. We've got pace on either wing. We've got ability, and you'd be more, you know. We'd probably be a little bit more kind of bullish about where we can finish. But like Ped said before, you know, yesterday was a year since Southampton beat us 4-1, and he thought we were relegated, and it was horrendous. A year later, people are going, it's in the top 6, and people are going, finish above United here. So, and we can, and we can finish above Arsenal, and say we will. But Arsenal aren't like light years away from
But isn't that what it's all about? And because I saw some of the people going on about the Allardyce thing last season. Look, at the time I thought it was a reasonable appointment given the circumstances, until Unsworth won his last game, and I was like, well, you're safe now, what's the point? What's the point?
What was the point?
But there's just something to getting an enjoyment out of the game for a start, but also that belief. Yeah. Now, it's the belief that hope that kills you, isn't it? Yeah. But at the same time, if you don't have that, what's the point?
What's the point?
And some, I think from the outside looking at you, we've spent a lot of time together over the last few years. Like, and I usually add that too few on too few seasons in recent years, thinking, why not?
Yeah,
and
also, it's the happiness away from the game as well, actually, from going to game. Things like, we've been at a thing today at Finch Farm, like a fans thing, and everyone's happy, and all the players are happy. And even if you were at that, and it was last year, and we were winning a few games. You can't imagine people would have that open happiness, and I don't think players would be as happy.
No, we saw that. We did the Player Awards the last 2 years for Liverpool. The 2 seasons ago, like none walked straight past.
Yeah.
It was like pulling teeth, trying to grab any. Like I did that horrendous video where I was just trying to get selfies with people because that was the only thing I knew. I might get them to stop for photo. This time it was like it was a bit where Klopp come over, and I was nearly having to push Gini Wijnaldum in the face out the way because the manager was there. You know what I mean? And that's when things are good. The whole there's a harmony around the whole club, and that's ultimately it's what you want.
But it's also if you feel like everything's going in the direction, you're willing to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Like we were saying before, if you lose a couple of games and you learn from it and you understand where, and the manager, I've heard Klopp say this loads of times, and I've heard Silva say this year. If you put your team out and you ask them to do the jobs, and they all do the jobs, and then they get beat by something, ridiculous, or just because the other team is better than you, which some teams are, what can you do? Yeah. All you can do then is go, what did we do wrong? How can we make it better? And
it's where I think, look, the other cities, another thing. As Scousers, I think we share. The one thing that we do share is that all we want to see is the lads go out on the pitch and die for the shirt. Go out there and work their absolute but work their absolute bollocks off. And you're right, because that's why we've all fallen in love with footballers who've lacked talent, but have not lacked the heart and determination. And that's what you want to see. And we're in a situation now where we've both got squads. Yours obviously is the genesis of one, really, where you've got lads who actually seem to get it, seem to give a shit, and then they've got the talent on top, and that's the core of having a good side. Ultimately,
it is.
I think the next thing for us, and I think this is what Liverpool have got, and I think this has been proved by the players signing new contracts, is you want those players to have that responsibility themselves as well, so that, and I always talk about it with Spurs because I think that's what they've got as well, is this idea that this is us, so I'm not leaving because I'm part of the good and the bad. And as long as, and again, that's another reason why you love certain players, because you go, well, when times are tough, that lad, I'm part of the problem, not this Billy big bollocks, use it all shit, and I'm leaving because I'm better than you. And if they prove that as well, then you give them even more respect. I mean, it's a bit early for us for some of our players, but we feel like that with some of our players. They've really got it already. So
then once the fans aren't fractured with the team, you see that with your team and your fans and ours. We've seen both the times when they're together and it helps the team, and the times when last year when people just wanted the season done. You didn't want to talk about it. You'd come in here and be like, yeah, we won, hey, and it was just like, get over. Now it's like who's giving interview, Silver, or what's Mina said, or go, and because you're hungry the same way as you are.
Gomez doesn't have to say anything.
No,
I'm just going to look at him all day long. So
all the best.
Yeah. I hope it's a fantastic game and we win 4-3. Lovely.
4-3.
Imagine scoring 4 at Anfield. Gee, we'd have to do the final word in our bills. No, because when Lineker said that, he did it, didn't he? Yeah, no, in fact, you know what? Yeah.
If you win 4-3, you're going to do the show in your build.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? If you win 4-3, I'll come and do it in my build.
All of us in our bills.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. Everyone will be switching off.
No one will be.
Final word, audience 2.
Subscribe.
I think that's going on as a podcast.
Podcasted up in bills.
Why did you lose so many subscribers on this?
I can't think why. Honestly. Alright, we'll wear lots of clothes.
On the Patreon, eh?
On Patreon, yeah, and behind your thing. It's all good. Big thanks to Paul for joining us for this. Oh, he's gone there. Battle lines have been thrown. That's how we roll in Toffee TV. See you later.
You absolute